Believe it or not, the introduction was the worst thing for me. I don't know why, because it's just not relaxed, and we just have to like do it something like that's the worst. But I'll do it a couple of times if it's so. Today's guest, Yury Opendik, yoga teacher, holistic. Oh my God, holistic coach and Wim Hof method instructor. Maybe we should have some.
You know what? Why don't we do this? Me and you. I teach this this breathing technique at my workshops. It's the most powerful breathing technique I know. How to drop from your sympathetic nervous system into your parasympathetic. It takes really one breath. It goes like this. You gotta breathe into your belly and slow exhale. So we have this vagus nerve here, and the belly, it stimulates it. When you're breathing into your diaphragm, you're stimulating your vagus nerve, and you can drop into your parasympathetic nervous system instantaneously. So why don't we harmonize our breath together one time? How you do it?
Let's do it.
Okay, let's inhale.
That's the one. Today's guest, Yury Opendik, yoga teacher, holistic coach, and Wim Hof method instructor. Welcome to the show, brother.
Thank you, Alexander.
Big thanks to our sponsors, Vice SEO Digital Marketing Agency in Miami. Thanks for sticking us from the beginning of the show. Today's guest, Yury Opendik, yoga teacher, holistic coach, and Wim Hof method instructor. Welcome to the show, brother.
Thank you, Alexander. I'm very happy to be here.
Thanks for the preparation. I actually worked. I can vouch for that. Took me a couple of tries, but we made it happen. Again, I heard all the best about you, so I did a short introduction. Introduce yourself a little bit more.
Well, my name is Yury. I'm from Russia originally. I came to the United States when I was 10 years old with my father. This was the 90s, so there was a lot of different things happening in Russia, and USSR broke up and became Russia, and I feel like United States was a really different country back then. It was still thriving.
He was still trying.
It was still
You went
thriving.
to New York? Or?
Yeah, we came to New York, and I was in New York up until last year. So for 33 years, I lived in New York. Grew up in New York, went to school in New York, had a really successful IT career in New York. And over the last, I would say, 4 or 5 years, I've really been tuning into my soul, my calling, my passion is, sharing with people what I've learned on my path. Over the last, 30 years living here in the United States. I'm married. I have 3 kids.
Congratulations. That's a huge thing.
Yeah. And, I'm a yoga teacher. I'm a holistic coach, as you mentioned, and I teach what is the Wim Hof method. I do share the method, I feel, a little bit differently in my own way. And I love adding, kind of tweaking the workshop, the experience, bridging yoga practice into it, yoga knowledge and holistic health knowledge to make it an all-around kind of transformational experience.
Talking about transformation, a lot of people have their careers, they're working there a long time, they don't feel satisfied, they want to switch, they want to try something else. What made you change? What made you become a yoga teacher, a holistic instructor eventually?
I was going through a certain time in my life where I was really questioning lots of things, if I was on the right path, and I got into a little bit of a depression. I was 39 years old. I felt like I wasn't where I'm supposed to be, and so I was really crying on the inside, really questioning, what do I really want to do? Like, there's got to be more to life than just, kind of surviving, getting a good job. Family obviously is important for me, but I had that, so that was really my root. From that root, I could expand, and when I felt I was really rooted in my family and had amazing support from my wife. I felt like I needed to branch out, and so I got into uh, a cleanse, a detox, so to speak. Over 4 months, I really started meditating, going really deeply within, and the desire just came through. I was, kind of yoga student all my life, and the desire to become a teacher just came up, and I knew I had to pursue it. I went to India, and I got certified. I met some an amazing teacher there, who really touched me deeply in my soul, in my heart. He I connected to his teachings really deeply, and I felt inspired to come back and teach. So I got on the path of teaching yoga, and then all these interesting things started happening, kind of unraveling. I went to Poland. I met Wim there. I had a self-healing experience in Poland. I got inspired by Wim. I felt like I needed to share what I learned, what I had experienced, and got on the path of becoming an instructor. And it was COVID time. Everything went locked down. Everybody went on the inside, and for me, it was just an amazing time to go within and tap in a little bit more deeply to what I really want to do. Met another incredible teacher on my path, Paul Chek, my mentor, and somebody I consider a good friend of mine, and just got blown away by his teachings. Blown away.
I can't imagine meeting someone like Wim Hof, that has to leave some kind of imprint and impression on you. And when you met him, you went for a workshop that he did, or what was the first thing you did?
I went to the expedition in Poland. So it was a winter expedition, the most extreme thing you can find, as far as Wim Hof method goes, with him there. It was 6 days in Poland in the winter time. The attraction of that whole thing was climbing the mountain in your shorts, bare-chested. And negative whatever degrees were there at that time, and it was super powerful.
So there was, if people don't know, Wim Hof is super popular. Can you explain the breathing techniques and stuff that Wim Hof does with you, so you can actually do that?
Everyone can do it. There are some contradictions to how to do this breath work or how to get into the ice. Who can do it? There are some health contradictions that one needs to look out for sure. You need to be in a healthy body, healthy mind. The breathing technique is really powerful. It is aimed to raise energy in your body, and also to release not only tension but also emotional baggage that we're carrying, emotional trauma. How deep you go within yourself with the breath is really up to you. It's really a question how deeply you can connect to your breath. And if you can connect deeply to your breath, you can really dig deep within. I can't teach you really anything. Just like Wim, he's like, here, this is the way, but you need to go. You need to figure out for yourself. You need to feel it to understand it.
He gives you the tools, but you have to work with
those tools. He gives you the tools, and he encourages you in a safe manner. So that you feel inspired and to go yourself. And once you do it yourself, you're like, I didn't know that I could do that.
So how was it? You did that was it 7 days expedition? You said
it was 6 days.
6 days. So it wasn't any time you were challenged, like, can I do it? You were thinking, you were debating yourself.
I was debating myself throughout the whole experience. Leading up to that trip, I was nervous. I was anxious. I was a little scared. Me and my friend Marat. We were going in together. We didn't know what to expect. They were going to freeze our... what? How's this all going to happen? And, there was this another aspect to that whole trip that really a transformational time in my life, because it changed the trajectory of my life. Because I went into that winter expedition with a back injury. I pulled my back on the morning of the flight. So I was flying in extreme back pain. When I got there, my back pain was getting worse and worse, and as I was getting into the cold water, I felt that it was getting even more intense for me. So dealing with that pain and just keeping my mindset that I was gonna go climb that mountain, I was gonna make it. That was my goal. That I'm able to do that there. I just kept staying positive. Those 6 days were, I can't really put it into words how transformational that experience was for me, to overcome my mind, to go through the pain, to believe in myself that I could do it, and it was incredible.
Is it part of it which was painful? How you felt at that moment when you're doing that, when you do the breathing exercises, you feel the cold, of course. I mean, I don't think people, you just don't feel anything. You do still do feel it. What was the moment? Remember when you were like, okay, I can really do this. I really feel I can do this.
You definitely feel the cold. Cold plunges, they don't get easy. It is powerful medicine. That's why it is that powerful medicine, because it stays difficult, it stays challenging. What you do learn in a consistent practice, that once you're able to relax into the experience, once you can let go of your ego mind and stop thinking like, I'm freezing, I'm cold, how's this gonna be, or just be with it. The body is so incredibly intelligent. The body, I feel, knows exactly what to do. This is what I share with my students that come to my workshops, that if you can connect to your breath, and you can't stop the mind, but you can quiet the mind. How do you quiet the mind? Through the connection to your breath. You will notice that the body is so incredibly intelligent that it will just heat itself up. There are advanced techniques to do that. But at a very simple level, taking a 2-minute ice bath, you just simply need to relax into your breath. And once you do that, you realize that it's not so bad. You've gotten through that hump where you just want to get the hell out of there. And once you get through that hump, it usually takes 30 to 90 seconds, somewhere below 2 minutes. And once you get through that mind over body experience, you realize that, yeah, I can do this.
And how do you felt after you did that 6-day expedition? After that, how long that it left a lasting impression on you, I imagine?
I'm still there.
You're still there.
I'm still there. I'm living it, what I got there, what I experienced there, with Wim, with the instructors, there was another 100 people from all over the world. I met the most incredible people there. Some of them became really close friends. 6 of us became instructors from that expedition, and it's a life-changing experience for me.
So you decided, after you came back to US, you decided to go all in on that, and was that the thing, or you still working or something else?
Yeah, I'm actually still officially working in my corporate job.
Officially, but you still kept it full time. You work less, or what's the?
Yeah, no, I'm full time, 9 to 5. I work in a corporate field as a systems engineer, senior systems engineer. I've been in this field for over 20 years, but depending on when this podcast comes out, that may no longer be. Just because I've been really listening to my soul, and I've really been crying on the inside. It's not really where I want to direct my energy.
It's the journey.
There's a lot of things. There's a lot of things. I have 3 kids. I got, responsibilities, and I want to make sure that they're taken care of. So definitely a lot is going into that decision, but I see no other way, Alex.
Yeah, when you're 20 or 19, 21, you can just go and try those things. When you get later on in life, people you have family, you have kids, stuff, but they're afraid of a change, do anything else. You just focus on that, and they're still happy, like you said, crying inside, but you're trying to do something, which means a lot. And you will eventually get there if you continue doing it it depends if you put your mind to it, you definitely can do it. You made a leap, and a little bit later age, still not.
Yeah, definitely later.
But later, concerning you have family
bloomer.
and kids, I think in that sense, but you can do it. And I'm glad at least you have a part of your life which you enjoy. You have a job, but you also have this working as a part-time. I don't know how many days you're doing workshops and stuff, but it's still, even if you don't like your job, you have something to look forward to besides, of course, your family, but you look forward to doing something like that. And it helps you deal with the corporate job, because you only have corporate job, you go to see family, sleep, you're not going to be happy, that's for sure.
Absolutely. If I did not have these tools, if I did not have my yoga practice, I would not be able to be in the corporate field for sure for this long. It was a combination of having good management who allowed me to be a self-sustained leader in my position. But things change in companies. Management changes, and
but when you have your workshop, things change also there. But eventually, you build your own things. So you're the only person responsible for everything, pretty much. I mean, of course, there's a lot of things involved, but it's not a corporate. They can replace you probably tomorrow with someone else. So, but this kind of thing that people resonate with you, you connect on some deeper level, in a sense, emotional.
I feel like I do. I definitely do. It brings a lot of joy to me. Doing workshops, connecting with people. It's not really work to me. It's my passion. I love doing it. It feel incredibly alive when I'm connecting with people on a deep emotional, spiritual level. When we can share with each other. Breathwork is really powerful. It can bring up a lot of things, lots of good and I don't want to say like good or bad. They're just things until we put a label on them. But the connection that we make together as a group, and I'm there, of course. We talk, we share. That I think is the most powerful thing from the experience, is the connections that we make with each other, how vulnerable we can be with each other, and I'm pretty much. I remember every single person that went through my workshop.
Yeah, we're on
I'm friends with many people that stay in touch with me, and I stay in touch with them.
We're on this planet together, so we share a lot of experience. You want it or not, you can. Even if you hide behind the walls, you're still connected with people. People think they're introverted, they don't want to see anyone, but you depend on people in one sense or the other, and you're connected with them. So
there's nothing more powerful than human connection, I feel.
For sure. I mean, you're experiencing that almost all the time. Especially doing that, it's connecting on a deeper level. You connect with your partner, with your family, but with other people, you don't connect that often. At least not on that level. You're doing workshops all over the country. So we're in Miami right now. Have you done Miami workshops recently, or are you planning on doing it?
I've done a few workshops here. This last year we've been here for about a year, just a little bit over a year. Just been really challenging as far as moving and getting grounded, the kids' schools, and figuring out after-school programs. And my wife was pregnant. She gave birth 6 months ago. So it was lots of things going on. I'm really trying to feel out Miami now. I feel like a little bit, starting to get a little bit of grounded here. I have some ideas. I have some things I want to do here. How long it's going to take, I already allowed myself to just let it be.
You have to.
As long as it takes, and I'm not going to be in a pressured or in a hurry to get something done right now. My priority is to make sure that things are balanced and in harmony in home, with my kids and my wife. And if things are working there, then I can expand myself. But I first will need to make sure that things are good at the home front.
That's for sure. That's stability that comes from that, and then everything else you do, it's added bonus. What's the difference? You're doing workshops in, let's say you did it in Europe, but those are most experienced people, and people are more engaged in the whole story. You did it all over U.S. Is there any difference when you do it? I assume also with the weather-wise, if it's colder, if it's warmer, I assume Miami people are more susceptible to cold than someone up north, or is that the case? Or everyone has the issue, but not more or less.
Everybody's a little bit. Every area is a little bit different. I feel like hot spots, people are a little bit more afraid of the cold because they're just not used to it. I feel like Florida draws in people for comfort. People like to be here, like service, comfort. But there are many people here that are interested in ice baths and do want to try some hard things. So it's going to take a little bit of time to build my community here or meet my community here. But
how do you walk someone who wants to try it and he wants to do it and say this is the benefits, I recommend you do this because of that, and how to get into everything?
Well, the biggest physical benefits are, of course, it's anti-inflammatory, because everything is inflammation, right? Disease starts with inflammation. So
why should you switch your meds from doing meds to doing that? And people on medication, they feel pain, they just do that instead of doing a cold plunge.
Well, people don't want to put in the time. They just would rather get a pill. They would rather get a shot. Sometimes they would rather get a surgery with a promise that they're going to be okay or they're going to be healed, which usually doesn't happen. It's usually just a Band-Aid. So to me, healing is a journey. It can take a month, a year, a day, 10 years, or your whole life. But if you set your mind to heal yourself, and that you will not stop until that happens, it will happen. It's just a question of when, not if.
So let's say, for example, if I want to start doing cold exposure, I want to feel better. I want. What should I start doing? Like cold showers, or go do breathing exercises and step it up? What should be the process?
When you're getting into the Wim Hof method, the breath work really helps. It really helps with pain tolerance because you are stimulating yourself. You're getting a sort of a high, getting high on your own supply, getting high on oxygen. So it does help you in the cold. So the breath work is that opening door to help you deal with the cold. Of course, cold showers. Here in Miami, we don't have cold showers, as you know.
It's cold enough for me.
Yeah?
Still cold.
Well, anything below 64 degrees is considered cold exposure. Our water here is well above 64 degrees, unfortunately. But there's some tricks you can do. You can get a little ice from your freezer here. You can do tie up a little ice package on top of your shower head to take a little cold shower. And the more and more places are popping up with cold plunges. So gyms are getting cold plunges. The difference here, Brooklyn versus Miami, there's a lot of high-end buildings here. There's gyms in buildings. They have cold plunges in some buildings here. So once you start looking for it, it's going to find you. You're going to find a friend who's got a chest freezer in their backyard or something.
You got to figure it out.
Something.
So you said anti-inflammatory. What are the benefits? I heard people dealing with depression, anxiety, and there's any other stuff. Do you have any examples? I mean, you definitely do. Some examples that people are transformed. They said they were really doing bad and things changed.
Yeah, many. Very many different people with different drug addiction, depression, autoimmune diseases, even much deeper things were happening in their life. And there was a couple of really incredible deep transformations that happened at a retreat that I did last year in the Catskills. And the cold is a catalyst. It's a catalyst for you to step outside of your comfort zone. So I don't want to take a cold shower. I obviously don't want to get into the cold water. So you stepping outside of your comfort zone, you getting into that ice bath, is you really overcoming your mind. It's a mental game.
Definitely a mental game.
It builds your willpower. So that thing right there gives you a kick in the butt, right? So you being consistent with your cold exposure, you realizing that you can do things. You can do things that you've been putting off, and then the breath is the most powerful healing modality that I know. So with the power of your breath, tapping in to your subconscious mind, you can see things that you've been kind of shying away from or don't remember. They happen in your life, but they happened so long ago, they're not in your conscious mind. And so you can go deep into your subconscious mind. These things can come up, and then you can sort of you can see them. You can make friends with them. You can be okay. You can accept yourself, and then when you do that, just transformations can happen for you, because you're then realizing that these things are no longer holding me back. So maybe I should try to do this. Maybe make a change.
We always said that. I remember he was Serbian saying, but it's everywhere. Count to 10. People before you say something, before you do something, when you get upset and stuff. But even today, so many distractions. We always have music blasting, TV, people talking. Sounds like, can you sit in the room just for like a minute, nothing? You don't hear anything. You're just by yourself with your thoughts. People are afraid of it. No one wants to sit with their thoughts.
Nobody can do this anymore.
You can't.
Well, because you have to be with yourself, because we have this entertainment in front of us all the time. You got your TV, you got your phone, you got your iPad, you got things distracting you from you.
Like you don't want to be.
Nobody wants to be with themselves anymore.
They say if you're bored by yourself, you're in a bad company. So that's for sure.
And so with meditation, really, that's what it does for you. It really helps you quiet down the mind and to really see all these processes that are happening inside of you, so then you can see yourself and be with yourself a little bit.
I saw you're doing a holistic coaching. I found it interesting. I was going to ask you the instrument that you use when you were teaching yoga.
Which one?
I can't even explain. I've seen it mostly on your videos.
It's like a mellophone.
Yeah,
with the tubes.
Yeah. What is that called? What does that do actually?
Well, it's got this amazing frequency. It's got this sound that helps people relax, tune into their breath. I use it all the time during breath work, during meditation, and then in the ice bath to help people tune in. It's called Divya.
Divya, where did you first see the instrument? Encounter and say, okay, this is.
I've seen it first. I went to Hawaii.
Mhm.
The second time I was in Hawaii doing workshops, and I collaborated with this guy Igor. He was at the time living on the island, and he's a sound facilitator, and this is one of the tools that he had. He shared it with me. I thought it was beautiful. I found it, I bought it, and I've been using it all the
It
time
looks
now.
cool. I was always surprised. I just want to hear it in person. I mean, you hear it on the video, but it's not the same when you're in that mode, that
Yeah,
moment.
it's a beautiful, beautiful instrument. Sounds are a big part of the experience that I offer. So I play the drums, the divya, and now the gong, which is a new addition. It really helps people to go a little bit deeper.
Does it matter? I mean, we're always saying it matters. So we have to go. I have to go to the ocean. I have to go to the beach. I have to go to the mountain to relax. You know, actually, you have to go within. You got to go inside yourself. So does it matter when you do certain things like ice baths, cold plunges, or a meditation or something? Is it different? I mean, of course, it should be a different experience when you're doing the mountains or the beach. Or can you do it anywhere?
You know, in the Wim Hof method, we say we are always climbing the inner mountain.
So it's everything's really within.
It's always the inner mountain. It's our resistance to people, to situations, to things, to outcomes. Resistant to lots of things that is probably holding us from living a full happy life. Just, life is what it is. Things don't go the way you want them to go sometimes, or most of the time, or whatever, however you see things. But it's our ability to accept things the way they are, and climbing our own little boy inside, our own little boy that says, why not, why me, why not me, why again? That inner voice that we're climbing the inner mountain. So
Stuff like
I don't know if I answered your
Yeah,
question exactly.
You did. It just also, I mean, people are debating themselves. They're thinking, should I do a cold plunge? Some people are afraid. I mean, you say, okay, if you're a healthy body, you're gonna feel good or not. But some people are afraid if I jump in, my heart might stop. You know that it can happen or not. Why? How do you deal with those thoughts? Are they for real? Are there any examples like that?
Well,
Or?
of course, we have to vet every single person that comes to the workshop, make sure that their heart is in good working condition, they don't have schizophrenia or bipolar disease or pregnancy and some other things. But the biggest thing is how you step into the ice, how you go into the ocean. If you think that, you're going to catch a cold or you're going to get sick, well, guess what?
That's what's happening.
That's what may happen, because the water carries magical properties, carries your intention. So your fear can initiate a negative outcome in your body. So number one thing, you got to step in there from a place of confidence.
You gotta believe. You gotta believe it.
You got to switch you got to do it 180. So instead of thinking I'm going to get sick, I'm going in there to become stronger. I'm going in there to heal my body. That changes the whole thing.
Your mind has that information. It just sends. It's only mind talking.
It's mind.
We have two persons in your mind. It's like, oh, you'll be fine. The other person says, no, it's dangerous, and you kind of talk with yourself. You just have people arguing in your head, and you don't even do it. And usually, the bad person wins. He's like, oh, it's because it's easy, it's convenient, and it's
I'm not gonna do it today.
Yeah.
Not today. Maybe later, and that maybe later never turns into you actually doing it. So. You got to go for it.
You went from yoga being holistic coach and connecting on that spiritual level. Some people today are into, a lot of people are into holistic stuff, whatever. There's a lot of branches, a lot of different teachings and stuff. What do you think about people going to South America, for example, whatever, doing ayahuasca and into, what are your thoughts about that?
Mm-hmm. Well, my thoughts about plant medicine work is I have a high regard for it, because I've worked with plant medicine myself for over 15 years, and it helped me tremendously to deal with my fears, my traumas, my ego, my crap. Not saying it's not there. There's more crap, and it's gonna come up, and more will come up. But
You're working on it. It's a process.
I'm working on it constantly. It's been a long journey, and I feel that for some people, it's an incredible tool to heal from within. So I'm not saying it's for everybody, definitely not. It may be traumatic for some that are not ready for it, people that are, I don't want to say weak-minded, but not ready to face themselves, not ready to see what the medicine will show them, because it can be a really hard experience, ayahuasca in particular. But I have a lot of respect for it, a lot of love for that medicine, and there's a lot of that medicine in United States, in the Western world now, especially over the last 10 to 20 years. For someone looking into plant medicine, I would really say do your own research. Like really start looking into it, asking yourself why do you want to do it, and then find a really good medicine man that you can trust, that you know is not going to take advantage of you energetically, emotionally, or whatever. And really do your research.
So is there, I mean, people want to do that. What are the things they should, from your experience? Some people, you know, like everyone's doing that, but everyone's telling their own story. How do you, if you're new, you don't have experience doing that, how you should be, what should you watch out for before you actually get into that? Concerning just people, how people are selling their product, you know, everyone's trying to sell you something.
I'll say just like that. To me, a medicine man that talks a lot, or promises you things, or tells you that he can heal you or help you, is a big red flag for me. That's a red flag. A real shaman, a real medicine man will not say many things to you. He will definitely feel your energy. He will be there for you if you need him, but he will serve you the medicine, and then he will hold the space for you to work with the medicine yourself. Because the medicine will give you all the answers. The answers are inside. Things will come up. The question is, are you willing to actually hear the messages? But even after that, the real ceremony starts after the ceremony is over. So the ceremony is over, the real ceremony begins. What are you going to do with the things that you've realized? How are you going to change your life now that you have seen, now that you do know? Are you going to go back to your old ways? Or are you going to actually make a change? And it's always ultimately up to you. Medicine will not do anything for you. It will show you. But you got to go do it. You actually got to go and make some changes in your life. Maybe heal some relationships. React a little bit differently to some things. Ayahuasca changed my life.
That's huge. Is it any difference doing it, let's say, in South America in a jungle, or doing it somewhere here? Is there any difference?
Absolutely, big difference, huge difference. I mean, when you're in the jungle, when you're in the middle of nowhere, and you hear all the sounds of the birds and the insects and the animals, and the spirit of ayahuasca comes on really strong there. It's an incredible. I don't even know how to put it. I really learned how to breathe in the jungle, because my first dieta in Peru was very intense. Was extremely intense, and what you realize, what the medicine will teach you, is that nothing will help you in those difficult moments where something comes up emotionally, or you need to face yourself, or it gets scary, quote unquote, or you start purging up just nonstop. The only thing that will help you is your connection to your breath. So can you breathe? The medicine taught me how to breathe there, like really breathe. And it could take, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, an hour to calm down your nervous system. And before you do that, everything inside is just blowing up. You just want to get the hell out of there. But there's no way out. There's no way out.
Is it all connected? Now we're talking about it. You mentioned energy. If it is, what's the main connection between, let's say, for example, ayahuasca or a breathing exercise, Wim Hof method? What's the main connection between all of that?
the main connection between ayahuasca, yoga, and this incredible, powerful Wim Hof method breathing technique is that it brings you into the state of oneness. Yoga means unity, right? Unification of mind, body, and spirit. The breath is our connection. The breath is a bridge, really, between the physical body and our spiritual, emotional body. When we're able to establish that connection through a long periods of time, we can experience oneness through breath. So what I experienced on ayahuasca and my other plant medicine journeys, I was able to experience similar feelings, similar connection through breath work. And so that's when I knew it's all there. It's all there.
I mean, coming to US and experiencing later on in life all of that. But I asked you earlier, what if you, before the show, we talked about when you came here when you're 10, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So just if you could go back to that, you were 10 years old coming to US. Just what was even before you knew you were gonna come here, and just your idea of US. What did you encounter when you moved here, and how different was that? And just growing up in New York.
Wow, I just remembered New York, 1989, when we just arrived, and we were placed into a hotel room, and I think we lived there for like a month. It was a rat infested hotel room somewhere
New York style,
somewhere on the west side in the city, where they were just kind of placing immigrants that came. It was 1989, and New York it was November, so it was really gloomy, cold, dark. I didn't know the word of English. I spoke Italian because we immigrated through Italy. Mm-hmm. Spent 8 months in Italy, coming into the United States. So I was able to speak Italian. Luckily, there's a lot of people that spoke Italian
in New York.
In New York, that's how I first was able to communicate with people, and my father the same. And it was a learning experience. I've been working since I was 10. I worked in Italy. I worked, held, dozens of jobs as I was growing up.
That's the immigrant culture
in New York. It made me who I am. People, lots of people took advantage of me. I was a young kid, didn't know the ropes. My father didn't know really much himself, where to go, what to do, and he was trying to figure it out for himself. And so I was kind of poking around here and there and trying to find my way, and it was really through the streets of New York and hanging out with people that were older than me. It was an amazing experience.
Were you happy then when you came to US?
I was very happy.
It's from the day one? I mean,
yeah.
Not day one, or were you?
I still feel I had the best childhood, even though that, I had this, my father's girlfriend who wasn't very nice to me, because my parents did get divorced, and I was living with my mom before moving with my dad to the United States. I was a very happy kid, I really didn't let it bring me down. I had lots of friends. I was always outside. Was working, so my dad never really supported me financially. So he's like, you want to buy this, you go work, go get it. So he instilled that mindset, go get it. And so I went after it, and saying that I was rich or I got rich, but I had everything that I needed, and I could get it myself. And that was the biggest thing, that I didn't need to go to anybody to give it to me.
When you're growing up, you have it a lot. U.S., everyone has something. I'm going to become this person. You always something driving you forward. I don't think that's the case in Russia or Serbia. People have some kind of idea, but here you dream big. So I assume you had big dreams too when you were growing up, right?
I didn't. No, I did not have big dream. My dream was to survive. I needed to survive. I was in the survival mode for a very long time. We were living in poverty. I mean, we had furniture from the garbage until I was like 18. We had nothing. I was in survival mode. I was trying to figure out, how do I survive here in this country?
People don't forget about that. The people go through it, and then it affects you all your life.
Had my father maybe lived here for some time, he had been established, maybe he would have known what to share with me when I was growing up. But the things that I share with my kids now, I tell them you got to go for the stars.
There's still levels to it. I mean, some people shoot from the stars from the beginning, but for you, it's hard to shoot from the stars when you an old apartment with old bed and old furniture. Right now, your kids have decent kind of platform to jump from. You
Right.
need a platform first.
Right.
Which is
Right.
good.
And
But you can also translate the experience you have in a way, something that you went through, so they can actually appreciate it. Because kids today, they don't know what you've been through, but if you tell them, they might get to appreciate it more. Even, let's say, I guess you told me you took them back so they can actually see back home where you come from, how things are different, so they can appreciate some stuff over here more. Of course, there's things to appreciate also there. It's not like all bad. Wherever you go, U.S. is not ideal. It's a great spot for certain things, but there's spots all over the world. I mean, what do you, when you go back to Russia, you're growing up, you grew up here, so you're American, but you're still Russian. You have family's Russian. So when you go back and you feel the emotional connection with Russia still, and what are things that you miss? What do you think is the biggest difference even to today?
I miss the culture. Russia has, or at least had, as far as I can remember, really amazing architecture. I'm from St. Petersburg, which is a really beautiful city. There's a lot of museums, theaters, interesting people. Like when I would go there, I would really be interested to talk to, like guys I would meet or girls. They were really interesting to me. They were very different from the girls I would meet here in the United States, and I was more drawn to their intellect.
It because it's similar to yours, or because they're just different?
I the educational system is definitely different in Russia, especially when I was growing up. Not that I got a whole lot of it back then, but there is a big difference in how people communicate, what the things that they talk about, what interests them. There's a lot of people interested in theater and culture and poetry and music. I can definitely sense that. I mean, now it's kind of things are changing. People are lots and lots more kids are more in their video games and their iPhones and social media, but I still feel that I'm more drawn to I'm drawn to the culture that my city has, the beauty of the city, the people. Still love the people. Every time I go there, I meet,
People forget about the culture. When you say culture, I mean, I was reading when he was growing up in Serbia, reading Russian novels and stuff. So let's say, for example, I remember War and Peace when I was reading it. It's a hefty book to read. It takes a while, but if you're into that, some people like it, some people don't. But you say culture, I remember there's a scene they're talking before Napoleon invaded Russia, and they're talking. It was a thing in Russia to speak in French. So they will speak in Russia, were they speaking in French? Imagine whole Russia knowing French, and Napoleon is going to invade? No, he's not. But it's a culture how it was elevated. In Russia, one of the most highest percentage of literacy. So we say culture, it's all connected. It's not all, mindset, mentality is different, but culture and some other stuff, people don't talk about it, but it's really big, and it's been for centuries.
It's like New York, Miami is a big city, right? But you go somewhere like, I don't know, in the middle of nowhere, what culture are you going to really see there, right? So Russia's really similar. You have Moscow, you have St. Petersburg, there's some other big cities that there's culture. But you go on the outskirts, just like you said, illiteracy and lots of alcoholism and
things
poverty.
Things are way different. What would you recommend? Let's go with someone comes to U.S., who's an immigrant and starting off, let's say younger or older. Any recommendation for them from your experience?
Gotta believe in yourself. Number one thing. Just gotta never give up. This country is a country of opportunity. If you keep believing in yourself, if you keep trying, if you keep doing, if you don't give up, anything is possible here. And I'm not talking about like becoming rich, although I think having wealth is a byproduct of your own mindset, of you just not giving up and going for it. And
if it's your thing,
whatever it is you want to go for, just go for it.
If that's your thing, go for it. But it's not the only thing. People think that's the only thing that's going to solve everyone's problems, but it's not.
No. you may have all the money in the world, but you might be the most miserable person
So
alive.
that's huge.
Money does not bring you happiness.
You're trying to pursue money, and then you get to whatever millions or whatever you want to get to. Then what kind of person you become when you get there, and it's huge. You'll make sure you're still you when you get there, and is it worth it to pay that price?
Yeah, and I know many people who got rich, like people that I used to be friends with. But how many people did they crush on their way there? How many heads they had to step over? How many people did they have to screw over?
And life is karma, or whatever it is. It's coming for you. I still always believe it is something. Sometimes it doesn't wait too long. People think, and you eventually see. I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense now. When something happens, in your life,
You always get what you deserve. So that money that they got rich on, screwing other people over, never brought them any happiness. They don't have loving relationships. They don't have loving families. From what I see, there's a lot of pretension and mask wearing and it's not for me.
what is not for you? What is American dream for you when you say those two words?
American dream for me is to be financially free, which I'm not at this point still. But I'm going towards. I want to be financially free to do the things that I love to do. To share with people. I want to be in charge of my time. I want to live life. I want to do life. I don't want to work.
You don't do work. You don't do life.
I want to do life. And I think that's the American dream. That's part of my American dream, is to be able to just do the things that bring joy, love, and happiness to the people around me.
So I was going to ask you in 3 to 5 years, or in general, long-term plans. What do you have planned? What would you like to see yourself in the future?
I have a 5-year plan.
So definitely, that's important. How important is that to actually have this?
Very important. Very important. I have a vision. I'm working towards that vision. I don't know where I'm going to be. As far as we're going to be in Miami, or are we going to be somewhere on the West Coast, or will we go back to New York? I don't know. I'm very open. I want to feel out Miami. I want to see. I want to be here. We're good. I feel like the next 5 years are going to be incredibly transformational for everyone. There's a lot of things happening that some people know, some people don't know. There's just a lot of things brewing. So where they will go, it's a big question mark. But I definitely like to see myself being in business for myself and being in charge of my time and loving life to the fullest, spending them with my family, with my kids, being there as I've been, and not being taken away or dropping into the lower vibrations where I feel like I have to survive again.
This plan sounds good to me. What's the short-term plans? Where you have some next workshops planned out? Share it with people so they can find you, then they can contact you if they're interested in.
Let's see. I don't have anything scheduled in Miami so far, but I do have some workshops coming up on the southwest side, on the Naples and Sarasota and Marco Island in middle of November. And then I do have a retreat, my annual retreat that I do in the Catskill Mountains of New York.
Beautiful out there. I was there.
It's beautiful, and it's going to be a 4-day retreat, December 14th to the 17th in the Catskill Mountains. That's coming up. And I'll probably have something here in Miami in the next month or two. I'll probably looking for some good locations and the right partners. For me, it's always about finding the right partners. I want to do workshops with the people that really want to work with me, that want me there. So, you potential partners out there, Miami.
Definitely always. I mean, you have to be careful who you associate yourself with, and you want to make sure you're happy where you're doing that. And it's a new city, new people, so you're gonna take time. People just eager rush into certain stuff. There's no need, that. So reading, and you can actually slow down and think about things before.
What's the intention behind all this running around, right?
Yes, that's for sure. Tell what people can find you. Tell them we have a website or Instagram or where they can get in touch with you.
I do have a website. It's called evolvewithyuri.com. My Instagram handle is openmind_inc, INC. I have a Facebook page. It's my name, Evolve with Yury. Let's see, what else? you can find me on the Wim Hof Method portal, which is wimhofmethod.com/instructor/my name, Yury Opendik. You'll find lots of reviews there from people that have come to my workshops that I'm really grateful to leaving their feedback and reflections.
That's what. Tell me, before we wrap up, you want something to add? You think we missed? You want to touch on some stuff? Whatever you think.
Well, I do have a question for you.
Yes, I'm ready.
You've been living here in Miami for 10 years now, 10 years, right?
Yes.
What do you feel is the best, like the best thing you love about Miami?
For me, number one thing, I've been here so long, and my best friends, they're my family, they're here. That's number one thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's, for me, for sure, it's number one thing. If there's somewhere else, I would go somewhere else. But also, next thing, it's just the weather. Like we said, cold. I'm cold. It's not my thing. I can do it, but I don't enjoy it. Really don't enjoy it. I take hot showers even in Miami. When it's 100 degrees outside, I take super hot showers. Mm-hmm. So anyway, growing up in Serbia, 4 seasons, winter, I was miserable. It's cold, and it's just not my thing. So definitely weather here.
The weather is nice.
Weather, it's just, it doesn't beat. You have like a couple of bad months. It's too hot. Yeah, I mean, go to Nevada, go to Phoenix. It's just, it's super hot. It's like humid. Have ocean right there. So if you want to go to the pool, you go to ocean. Also, people forget about the clothes. I have shorts and a shirt all year.
Right.
Who's like, I mean, I'm calling my parents back home. They're freezing. It's warm. They're in jackets. They're like, oh, it was 20 Celsius now. It's like 35, and it's like 18 at night. Here it's just steady, smooth. I don't check the forecast when I go outside. I can see it's raining. I can still go. I'm not going to get, because for me, I remember I get wet, then I get sick because it's windy, and then you forget to bring a jacket. Then here, you get wet, you dry, the rain stops in 15, 20 minutes. So, it's not an ideal city. I miss some, actually, museums, like cultural stuff. Mm-hmm. But you can always fly 2 days to New York or whatever you want to do. So but definitely, I think number one thing is who you associate yourself with, family. And if you have that set in your circle, whatever you are, it doesn't matter. Plus, Miami has so benefits outside of that, but that's number one thing for me.
Yeah, the circle. Once you have your circle, you only see, like, this is your world, right?
Yes.
I mean, there's a lot of craziness that goes down here in Miami, but it doesn't mean that it's in your life. It's not in your world.
Yeah, you think it's bad cities, stuff can happen. Stuff can happen anywhere. You see news. I watch the news sometimes, and I was like, oh my God, this bad thing happened. I don't want to name it. And I was like, I was just driving that today that way. But for me, I didn't even know that happened. I pulled some gas station, I get my gas. It was fine. And then I see in the news 2 hours later, something bad happened. But it didn't happen to me. Mm-hmm. And I was like, if I didn't see the news, I would not even know it. And it's not like that by comparing it to some other cities. But it's just do your own circle, do your stuff. And you have to be, people, oh, Miami sucks you. Yeah, because you're liable for your life. You can't hold yourself against doing something. I mean, you don't have to drink every day. Miami's a party city. Yeah, we don't party. There's more other stuff you can do, but you just focus on the party. You can party anywhere. People, alcoholics in Memphis, in Miami, in Oregon, it doesn't matter. So it's just, I mean, you're new here, give it time. I always say people give it time. Mm-hmm. Don't make rash decisions. Coming from New York, you're gonna love it here. Your kids and stuff, you're gonna get used to it. Especially, and I guess cold plunge in Miami, it's a new thing. I haven't seen a lot of places actually doing it. Yeah. I mean, I didn't go into the details, but I haven't seen that many places. So I think it's a good option. You should seize on and do it. And you have a great energy, and I think you could definitely do it. I'm willing to try it. We'll talk about. We're gonna be doing. I promise it right now because
you guys are welcome.
Official promise. Official promise. I'm gonna be doing. And definitely interested in breathing work. We tried it for it's not even 5 seconds, 10 seconds, and it helped me do something. Mm-hmm. So imagine if you do something. Because breathing is one of the most important things. If you don't breathe, you're not alive. Right. So you have to learn how. If you don't know how to, this is so funny when you say you don't know how to breathe, and you breathe. You need it. You breathe all day. Every second you're breathing. So it's really important thing. And
it's the most wild thing is that it's so simple.
It's so simple, and you still can't do it.
It's so simple, and we still forget. We still hold our breath. We still tense up, pull in the stomach. We still forget to just
breathe. Just breathe.
Just let it be. You can breathe through anything.
People think there are solutions. They're looking at stuff. Just breathe. First, learn how to manage your body, to breathe, to take care of yourself. And then everything else is easy. But you focus on outside stuff that you can control. But if you control yourself, you're dealing with other stuff way, way, way better. Yury, this was a pleasure. Thanks so much for coming out. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you so much, Alex.
In future, I'm definitely going to do this again. We're going to expand on some different subjects, but I really enjoyed it and can't wait to try the Wim Hof method and cold plunges and everything, breathing exercises.
Of course, and my pleasure. Thank you so much for having me here.
Thanks so much. Thank you.
Thanks
Everyone for watching. Please subscribe. Thank you.